Incumbent Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s 2004 book, Crimes Against Nature, pulls back the curtain on a critical issue, the environment, and how it's been impacted by political decisions. The book begins with RFK Jr. speaking at the Round Hill Club in Greenwich, Connecticut. His speech touches on the environment and how a wholesome environment is intertwined with a healthy democracy. RFK Jr. also denounces then U.S. President George W. Bush, specifically how his policies are allowing corporations to erode our country's core values. The then environmental lawyer is met with a standing ovation, similar to his earlier speeches in Virginia and the Northwest. RFK Jr. explains that the positive response to his speeches stems from how he spoke about the values that define community and make us proud to be Americans. Values like clean air and water, robust health, and beautiful landscapes are aspirations many of those who listen to his speeches share, and these same people want the best for their children. The health secretary makes clear that crimes against nature isn't about a Democrat attacking a Republican administration. During RFK Jr.'s long career as an advocate for environmental organizations, he has worked hard to be nonpartisan. But he writes in the book that one name comes to mind among national environmental leaders when they are asked about the greatest threat to the global environment: George W. Bush. In a ferocious 3-year attack, the second Bush administration has launched over 300 major rollbacks of U.S. environmental laws. These rollbacks are weakening the protection of our air, water, public lands, and wildlife. National polls consistently show that over 80% of the American public, regardless of party affiliation, want environmental laws strengthened and strictly enforced. The second Bush administration has gone to great lengths to keep its agenda under wraps, manipulating and suppressing scientific data, intimidating enforcement officials, and masking its intentions with Orwellian doublespeak. Bush's Healthy Forest Initiative promotes destructive logging, while his Clear Skies program suggests repealing key provisions of the Clean Air Act. The administration talks about streamlining and reforming regulations when it means weakening them. Crimes against nature is ultimately about more than the environment. It's about the corrosive effect of corporate cronyism on free market capitalism and democracy. Corporations should not be running the government, yet the second Bush administration has sacrificed respect for the law, private property rights, scientific integrity, public health, long-term economic vitality, and common-sense governance on the altar of corporate greed. The anti-environmental agenda of the younger Bush's White House was honed and perfected during his gubernatorial years in Texas. Under his watch, the Lone Star State had the worst pollution record in the United States. It sent the most toxic chemicals and carcinogens into the air, had the highest emissions of carbon dioxide, and produced the largest volume of hazardous waste. Bush's tactics and policies in Texas were a precursor to his presidency. He held closed-door meetings with industry insiders, relied on pseudo-scientific studies by right-wing think tanks, and emasculated regulations that cut into industry profits. His appointments to the Texas Natural Resources Conservation Commission were pro-industry, and they eliminated policies that allowed citizens to challenge pollution permits and made surprise inspections of industrial plants. When Bush became president, he brought his environment for sale agenda with him, along with many of his Texas cronies. His administration has systematically muzzled, purged, and punished scientists and other professionals whose work impedes corporate profit-taking. The immediate beneficiaries have been the nation's most irresponsible mining, chemical, energy, agribusiness, and automobile companies. Environmental injury is deficit spending, loading the costs of pollution-based prosperity onto the backs of the next generation. The Environmental Protection Agency announced in 2003 that American waterways are getting dirtier for the first time since the Clean Water Act was passed in 1972. The second Bush administration's policies promote greater use of dangerous pesticides, deadly chemicals, and greenhouse gases, and encourage the filling of wetlands and streams. RFK Jr., a father of 3 sons with asthma, mentions in the book that 1 in 4 African-American children in New York City suffer from the same condition. He adds that compared to his sons, many lack insurance and high-quality health care. Few children today can enjoy the experience of fishing with their fathers and eating their catch, as most bodies of water are tainted with mercury. RFK Jr. concludes that if we want to provide our children with the same opportunities for dignity and enrichment as those our parents gave us, we've got to start by protecting the air, water, wildlife, and landscapes that connect us to our national values and character. This has been a BrightLearn video from BrightLearn.ai on the book Crimes Against Nature by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Visit BrightLearn.ai for more fascinating videos like this one, and visit naturalnews.com for full editorial coverage and breaking news on critical stories that keep you informed and aware of what's really going on.